Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Talking with Sal here at my friend Stratos. How are you, Stratos?
Hi, Sal. Hi, everyone. I'm doing fine, thanks. How are you doing?
How's the beautiful Greek weather?
The Greek weather is really hot right now, and we are in for a heat wave by the end of this week.
Great time to go to the
But
beach.
it's scattered. We have also thunderstorms. It's a bit tropical right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's every time, every June for the last like 10 years, it's been like that, almost tropical weather here.
Well, I always look at the pictures that you take of your dolls by the beach and by the by the outsides, and it looks really beautiful. So,
It usually is, yeah, really. I mean, like usually 6 months, 7 months out of the 12, we have really warm and sunny weather.
mhm.
And actual winter is like a couple of months, January and February. I mean, the rest is pretty much mild, yeah.
Well, yeah. Whenever I look at your pictures, I'm like, wow, it looks so beautiful. So let me ask you, a lot of people may not know, but you have your own blog called the Fashion Chronicles.
Yes, it began as a blog back in 2006. And I used to run it alongside another blog I had about design in general. I used to write about various design things, and but then it grew a lot as the years passed. And at one point, I decided to make it into a more comprehensive website. I mean, it has the blog as part of it now, but you can also see different sections like photo sessions with some of my dolls for the collection, some themed sections like Hollywood personalities or accessories for dolls or male dolls or stuff like that. I'm working on some of them are more updated, some are not as much, but I kind of try and keep it up fresh as much as I can.
You definitely, and you're actually a really good writer. When you guys look
Thanks.
at it and you look at his writing style, it's very professional, it's very well written and really well structured. So I definitely think you should go check it out. And you said it started back in 2006. Like, what kind
Yeah.
of dolls do you talk about? Because I know that integrity dolls weren't a thing.
Uh,
Yeah, a thing.
I think that was the year that I began buying integrity dolls, because up to that point, because I started buying actual dolls from 2000 2001,
Mhm.
and the first one in my collection was actually a 16-inch doll from Franklin Mint, Olivia Newton-John in Greece as Sandy, because I'm a big fan since I was like 10 years old when Grease came out. And I wanted that doll really, really bad. When I saw the ad in a magazine, I was like, oh, I need this. And back then, the only way to get it was by phone. They used to do phone sales back then in the US, and it was something that was completely unheard of in Greece. I mean, you didn't buy something by calling a shop. And I decided to call and order the doll on the phone. And there was this really incredibly nice lady that helped me go through that process and get the doll to Greece, and that started it all. I mean, after that I discovered that they had other dolls like Elizabeth Taylor or Marilyn Monroe, and Vivian Lee from Gone as Scarlett O'Hara in Gone with the Wind, and they had dresses that you could buy as separate outfits to dress them up, and trunks, big huge trunks to store the dresses in, and also use them as props because they, when you open them, they're kind of like a mini boudoir when you open it up, which
Like
is
a
really lovely. And so this started me in, and then I began discovering. I mean, I knew Barbie anyway, and I began discovering other dolls and companies. And then I found Integrity. And when I saw the first dolls from Integrity, I was like, wow, I must get some of these. I must try. And I was lucky enough to get that Pompadour collection. I began with one of the basics there. My first Integrity was Kiori from the Pompadour collection, the basic one, which was she had a wig, and a corset, and she was really, really sexy. And I loved that because I didn't have any doll like that in my collection before. And that started the collection that I have right now, which is like really big. I have more than 200-300 dolls right now. Collection.
Wow.
Yeah.
You really started from they were like 40 to 60 years.
Yeah.
Wow. 2006, so that's like you've been with the blog for what, 15 years?
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, yeah. This, I think it's this fall. If I remember correctly, it was autumn when I began the blog. I have to check, but yeah, it will be kind of something like 15 years.
Well, I have to tell you that what I really like about the blog is how positive and how you may have constructive criticism, but it's never rude or anything. And it's gotten to a point where people feel really comfortable being rude on social media and on the
Yeah.
internet.
Yeah.
So it's refreshing that people are still holding class and positivity in blogs.
It's really easy to be rude, and I don't want to do that because it only generates more negativity. If you're rude and you being really negative about something without being constructive in your criticism, this is only doing bad to the people do making those stuff. I mean, if you buy dolls that you like and you see some faults on them, I mean, try and be creative. I mean, give your feedback in a nice way, in a sensitive way, because these people are doing their jobs. They're creators. They're creative people. They really research stuff. They really make stuff by spending a lot of hours on these dolls. I mean, trying stuff to see if they work and how they work and how they're gonna mass produce them. Because it's one thing to make one of a kind doll, and it's a different thing to make a doll that's gonna be 1,000 copies or 10,000 copies. I mean, it's not the same thing. And you have to think also that there's another factor, that's the factory making them and the people making them in the factory. And they're not machines, they're people. I mean, they're bound to make mistakes anyway. And quality control will get part of that, but probably not get others. I mean, that's why, I mean, when new dolls are released, some people get really nice versions of these dolls and others don't. I mean, it's natural. Criticize them, contact the company, say, look, this is the problem I have with the doll, but don't be rude about it. You don't have to.
Yeah, well, I read an article when mine came out, and you were really nice and had really positive things to say, so I really appreciate it. And I think I was one of the lucky people that, like, for the most part, it was really good feedback. But I've definitely seen it how people can be really, really ruthless with comments, and I
Yeah.
I sometimes feel like a lot of people don't know the work that goes into it, and it's really sort of for someone to judge. But it's a lot of work. So when someone says something really negative, it's like, come on, man. But Stratus, let me ask you, what's your background? Are you a writer?
What's my background? No, I'm not a writer actually. I'm a designer. I've studied fashion design,
Hmm.
and also I've studied engineering design as well. I'm a civil engineer from the
Wow.
university. Yeah. So these two were my studies, and I kind of did them at the same time. When I entered the university, I also started going to fashion school.
Hmm.
I was painting since I was like a child, everything. I was doing a lot of stuff and started doing uh, close sketches. I mean, around junior high, I think. That was when I began doing close sketches. And I started, then when I was at senior high, I started thinking about, wow, I want to study fashion as well. Because I was thinking about going into architecture or civil engineering or something like that. And then I saw fashion, I discovered fashion magazines. I started buying them, first the Greek ones and foreign ones. And I said, okay, this is something I might want to do. So I did study a couple of years. I also started pattern making. This was the first thing I studied because I wanted to find out how clothes were made before I started sketching them
The
for
hard way.
real. Yeah, because if you don't know that, you cannot sketch a proper clothes. I mean, no way, you cannot do it. And the difference was incredible. If you see my sketches before learning pattern making and after, it's a huge difference.
Yeah.
Completely different, yeah, because it informed my sketching. I mean, I knew how the thing I was sketching would be made after that.
I honestly think pattern making is probably the hardest part of the process.
Hmm. Yeah, it is. It is, especially when you make something that's not a typical pattern. I mean, because there are lots of typical patterns, some jackets, some pants, some skirts. I mean, there are certain things that are, the classics. I mean, a typical shirt, a typical sheath dress, and stuff like that. When you try to deviate from that and make something more creative and more difficult to construct, that's where it kicks in. I mean, that's a hard part. Yeah.
Oh yeah, big time. That's why was fashion. That's so cool. So let me take you back a little bit. As a kid, were your parents, did they let you play with dolls at all, or do you have access to
No, no. I I did we did play with dolls with my cousins because I had lots of girls cousins, and we did play with them when I visited them at their place, and they had lots of Barbies. So we used to play and dress up uh, with the dolls and everything, and play home. And my mother had a Greek doll, kind of the Greek competitor of Barbie, named Bibi Ball, which was a gift to her from my uncle, her brother. And whenever she was out of our home, I would take that doll and like play dress up with her, had some hidden fabric swatches and make clothes on her when I was alone at home. I mean, I was always doing that.
That's so cool. I need to look her up and see what she looks like now. I'm curious.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She's closer to Cindy, the British Cindy doll, than Barbie,
Big eye.
style wise, with a bigger head and big eyes. And she was a bit not a lot of articulation with that doll, but she had loads of outfits and a boyfriend as well. Yeah, yeah. She was really popular in Greece back then, back in the 80s. Yeah.
Oh, trust me, when you're a little boy and you don't really get to play with dolls, even like a standard Barbie that only goes like this is like a
Yeah,
big.
yeah, yeah. It was, yeah, yeah. I mean, back then Barbies didn't have a lot of articulation. They were like the classic Barbie body. I mean, but we would play like hours with them.
We didn't care. We didn't
Yeah,
like.
we didn't. No, not at all. I
We
don't think
didn't care.
kids care even now about articulation. It's only us collectors that want the articulation to pose the dolls better when we photograph them. The kids don't care.
They
They don't. They really don't.
they
No.
think it's cool, but like what you don't know, you don't know. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Mhm.
okay, so you weren't allowed to play with dolls, but you still managed to, like I did.
No, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Greece is very conservative. Even now, it's
goodness,
better now than it was back then. But it's a very conservative country, So yeah, boys playing with dolls not allowed back then.
I feel like Greece and Mexico have a lot of similarities, and Italy
Yeah,
too.
I think so too. I think so too. I mean, for me, Mexico is a Mediterranean country of
Oh
the
yeah,
Americas. Yeah,
that you described it perfectly.
yeah.
So let's move on a little bit further. What was your first doll collecting experience as an adult? Was that the doll that you ordered over the phone?
Yeah, that the Franklin Mint Olivier Ndojondo. Yeah, that was my first experience with
Wow.
doll collecting. Yeah, back in 2001, I think.
So
That's
I
when they
think
came out.
by the late 90s, early 2000s, the internet was starting to become more prominent.
Hmm.
I still remember I still remember when we had to use the AOL CDs and we had to connect to the phone line to get access to the internet.
Oh, that I used to be on internet only at nights because everybody was going to sleep, and I could like use the telephone without bothering anyone. I mean, if you tell kids now that you couldn't use a phone when you were connected to the internet, they will be like, "What?"
Yeah, and it was so slow and everything.
Yeah, slow, really, really slow. I mean, you needed hours to download a song, let alone an album.
Oh yeah, I remember that too.
uh,
But okay, so you bought your Franklin Mint.
mhm.
You bought your Adele later on. How do you come across Adele?
um, how did I do the? I can't remember actually. Um, I had I had quite a few of the Franklin Mint dolls, and I think I had uh, I was looking for their outfits because I was like I'm a big fan of the Gone with the Wind clothing, and I was looking to buy her. Scarlett has a lot of outfits.
Oh yeah, they're
Yeah,
stunning though.
and they made almost every single outfit she's wearing in the movie. They made it in Franklin Mint, and their quality is really incredible. The clothes are really well made. The fabrics are fantastic. They haven't discolored after all these years, and the jewelry they make really detailed. And the ones that they are facsimiles of real ones. They're really perfect in their detail. I have that couple of Diana dolls as well from Franklin Mint, and the jewelry that she has. Oh my god, that's incredible! The four pearl necklace chokers that she has with the emeralds in the front. Amazing, amazing. Yeah.
I feel like Franklin along with Stratos are some of the people that get the celebrity balls the best.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And some of them are even articulated as well with hidden articulation in the hands, the elbows and knees. You cannot see them because they have something like a metal skeleton inside, and it's covered by a soft vinyl on top. But it's really cool. It's not really flexible. I mean, they only have like three positions that you can move the elbow and the knee, but it's good enough to pose or sit at all in a sitting position.
It's funny you say that because I've been recently been watching the Olivia Newton-John Grease doll with the Franklin Mint, and I was like, this one actually looks like her.
It
So
does. They are really good at making the faces of real people. Even Elizabeth Taylor is a really nice looking doll. I have Grace Kelly, and she's really close to the real person. And Vivian Lee, of course, as Scarlett O'Hara is really good, even though her face paint is a bit more cartoony because she's one of the older ones. As they progress, they made really better face paint. And I have also um, Jacqueline Kennedy.
mhm.
She looks a lot like the real one, and a couple of others. Let me check. They're really here. And Lucille Ball as well, which is like Lucille is perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, they really do have good likeness. We just need them to make a Olivia Newton-John in Xanadu and my life will
Yeah. Oh, that would have been fantastic. Yeah. There's a guy out there who is doing Barbies with Xanadu outfits, and he's really good because there is one of the scouts of Barbie, the smiling one. I don't know how it's
Carnival.
probably yeah. Uh, Looks a lot like Olivia if you paint her like that, and he's making all the Xanadu outfits on that doll, and he's really good at it.
You'll
Can't
have
remember the name of the guy, but if you Google Xanadu Barbies, I'm sure you will find them.
because there's one movie that wasn't really popular, but I grew up loving it. So
Oh, who didn't love it? I remember watching that and singing the songs in the cinema. I mean, it was really fun.
oh yeah, you just want to put on some golden jumpsuit and pretend you're living John for like a day.
Yeah, yeah.
That okay. So you have your Adele that you were introduced to. You don't remember how you came across her, but
No, no, no. Probably Googling something about dolls. I mean, yeah, most probably doing that.
you've been
Mhm.
there since the beginning, huh?
Almost, yeah, yeah. I mean, they started a few years before that, but I was there since the beginning of the Tall Body. That my first Integrity dolls were with the Tall Body. I mean, the Pompadour collection. That's when they introduced that. And I was lucky enough going into Integrity then. I did get the first Om dolls as well. The first Oms were introduced that
There,
same year, Pierre and Francisco. So I got both of them and their outfits. And yeah, I have almost not all of it, but almost the entire Pompadour collection. Apart, I don't think I have the basic Vero from that collection. That's the only doll I'm missing. I have all the rest.
were you the one? You think that it was gonna be Francisco and Pierre getting married when they announced a gay wedding?
Yeah.
Me too. I was a little disappointed that it was San Francisco and Pierre, but
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
we'll get it later on.
I actually have the couple here next to me.
And it's a great couple, and it's really sweet.
Yeah, the guys are amazing.
But us Francisco and Pierre fans were expecting them.
Yeah, yeah. Pierre and Francisco should make a comeback. I mean, we have Darius now, so can they be far behind? I mean, let's see.
I feel like Pierre has like a perfect sculpt as it is.
Yeah,
Cisco
and
could
Francisco.
still
I
do
like Francisco as well.
a little bit of tweaking for my personal preference, but
Hmm.
I think that the OGs are overdue in my.
Yeah, yeah. And I have lots of them. I have three or four Pierres and three or four Franciscos at home, and a couple of Darius. So I have lots of the early uh, OMs in my collection and their outfits as well. And I was lucky enough to discover Chewin back then and order some men outfits from him because he's really, really good at making the men outfits.
Oh yeah,
His
definitely.
detail is incredible. So I got some for the guys, and they're still wearing them. They're still in those outfits.
Do you feel like, in a way, your collection is so amazing because you started out so early?
I think it helped a lot. Yeah, yeah, because I was lucky enough to find a lot of really great tools early on in the normal prices, not having to pay that much. Even convention tools that I couldn't attend, and I managed to get them at a really nice price. I mean, making friends in the doll community is a really nice thing because not only with really interesting creative people like you, for example, but you get to have people that help you find things that you're looking for without being, scalped or deceived. I mean, and get them in really nice price and much more easier than finding them on eBay or anywhere else.
Yeah, I definitely look back and I wish that I was a collector back then because I would have been able to get so many nice dolls at
Hmm.
retail or close to retail. Now you look at some of them, they're like 2,000, 1,000, five
The
hundred.
prices are crazy right now. I mean, I look at them and I'm like, wow, who's paying all that money for one doll? I mean, it's incredible.
Well, even dolls that were open edition from like 4 years ago are crazy expensive right now.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
you, well, and I feel like, let me ask you, do you think that it was going to be such a big community with Integrity Toy Dolls collectors?
No, no, never, never. Never. And even having the experience of W Club, I mean, that was kind of limited as well. I mean, there weren't that many people in it. So I would never have expected this thing. I mean, it's incredible. Even seeing the statistics of the website, I mean, having like more than 100,000 clicks per month on the blog. I mean, it's like, who are all these people reading? I mean, it's incredible. I cannot believe that.
Well, I feel like your structure is really well made, but I also feel like your information is really precious because most people don't want to go back and search for an email to find information about a doll or anything.
Hmm.
You do like a simple Google search on like Eden, Mademoiselle Eden, or whatever. It usually links that to your website, and then we can see what skin tone she is, how many were made, and like I'm sure that you know, but your information is so valued in the community, and
I'm trying to have as much information as possible on every post I make because I know that people will want to look at that and know especially characteristics like that, like skin tone and the year it was made, and the body type and the sculpt and everything. I mean, people really want to know. I see people asking all the time on forums or on groups on Facebook. I mean, what skin tone is, which are these dolls, because they buy those without even knowing which dolls they got, or they have them handed down by a relative or a friend, and they're asking, does anyone know which doll is this? And I try to answer them as well there because I know that they need the information. It's really crucial. And also I try to research as well the outfits that we see in the collection, because I like to know as well which real outfits they got inspired from. I like to reference them as well if I can, if I find them, because it's not always easy to find them.
And I think that helps fashion background as well.
Yeah, it helps. It helps, and I'm really familiar with the fashion industry and the magazines and the press and everything and the website. So yeah, it helps a lot with
I
that.
feel like it's really easy to clock like the Dior's from East 59 or the Balmains or the Versace, especially. They're very easy to find out. But more and more there are a lot of underground uh designers that they take
Yeah.
inspiration from. So it's really interesting when you do come across those. Like
hmm
that's so
And
cool.
I like that. Yeah, because we see these past couple of years, we see a lot of emerging designers that are really talented, doing really incredible stuff, like Christopher St. Rogers. I mean, he's
Yes.
doing some amazing clothes. I love his work. And Arturo Beguero as well, which is another name that I love what he's doing. So seeing these things sometimes referenced in people's work on dolls, I mean, I love that because they're really creative. They do really incredible stuff, and I love seeing that. I mean, okay, I like Versace, I like Dior, I like McQueen, but we need to see really new creative stuff. I mean, not
Underground.
like yeah. I like that.
Underground.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kind of like with cases of Adele, that dress, the black dress that she was wearing, how it was from a non-mainstream designer. I thought that was really
yeah, exactly. That was really nice, and it's a really nice outfit too. Really.
yeah, it's super.
Mhm.
So Stratus, you started collecting integrity. Did you first join? I think I met you on Flickr, right?
Probably yeah, because I was for a while on Flickr before Instagram came along. Yeah, I was on Flickr for a while. Yeah, I
And
still have the profile. I don't use it anymore, but yeah.
me
Mhm.
too. How do you come across the platform?
Uh, I don't remember actually. No, I don't remember. No, probably saw it somewhere. I don't remember how it came across that.
Well, it was like over for most of us, so it's
Mhm.
understandable. But and then you moved to Instagram because everybody started migrating, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Everybody said migrating was easier to post photos on, and also, I mean, it was Flickr has started becoming a bit more closed as a platform. They started doing restrictions of the platform for people who want to use it for more. And they kind of oriented themselves with professional photographers instead of the public. So I think that drove a lot of people to look for other platforms when they did that.
No, it totally. And then when
Mm.
you started back to the open public platform, it backfired. People were done.
Yeah, it did. Same thing that happened to Tumblr as well.
Yeah,
Mm.
I feel like people moved to Facebook and then they moved to Instagram.
Yeah. Facebook. I think Facebook is now mostly for people of my generation and older. And I'm using it to talk with friends and contact friends that are far away and relatives. But younger people are using mostly TikTok or Instagram.
Yeah, that's what I used to do before to connect with family in Mexico,
Hmm
or I do have a group with my friends that we also share there because sometimes Instagram can be really overcrowded
Yeah,
in a
yeah,
way. So the one thing that I'm not crazy about Instagram is how it's not close knit like Flickr was. You could keep up with the comments, with the community. You knew everyone, and
right.
you had, like
Yeah,
new accounts every single day.
yeah. I don't think it encourages the creation of small communities inside the platform at all.
Sorry, my light went. Everything is so funny. But I definitely feel like the platforms are getting less and less personal, and
hmm
I do wish that we still had that small close knit community, and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
miss it, you know.
Yeah, I feel the same way. And another thing is that the groups, the doll groups are more crowded now because a lot of people have started collecting that didn't before because of the pandemic. I think because people are now sitting more at home and they don't have many things to do, and they say, okay, what can I do? I should start doing that. Oh, maybe I should buy this or buy that. And they had some money to spend on stuff, and they did it on the stuff they liked, then they couldn't get it before, and they got dolls. I mean, they started, and also I think we had a migration from Barbie collectors as well.
Big time.
Yeah, yeah, for the integrity dolls. Yeah, I
Well, I
see
think
that.
I know personally when they started putting glue inside the Barbie heads, that's when I was done.
Hmm.
And I still collect Barbie, and I have some now that are going back to their old standard. But for a while, I was like, this glue situation is just I don't want to deal with it. So I let me buy an Integrity Toys doll, but the price tag was like a big shock at the beginning. I don't know if it was for you.
Yeah, yeah. It was. It was. I mean, not that much because I had begun with the Franklin Mead dolls, which were expensive, more expensive than the Integrity toys back then. Uh, but yeah, compared to Barbie, the difference was really, really big. I mean, even collector Barbies were cheaper than Integrity toys. Those, and I have some. I have collector Barbies as well. I have the grease dolls. I mean, all of them.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah, and I have. I love that Elizabeth the First Queen, the Barbie doll. I have that one. Uh, which I because I love the Tudor period, so I managed to find one in a really nice price and got her. And I have the Versace Barbie, which was one of my first collector Barbies that I got, and I got that because of a friend. I have a friend who has a toy shop here in my hometown, and he's one of my best friends. And one day I go to his shop and I see the Versace Barbie on the shelf, and I'm like, "What is this doing here?" And he's like, "Oh, there's a guy that made me order this for him, but he never came to pick it up. So I have that here." And I'm like, "I'm getting it, don't worry, I'll get it off your hands." And he's like, no, you don't have to buy her. I will gift her to you for your birthday. And so he gifted me the Versace Barbie.
That makes her feel really special.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, I love. I feel like everybody has their forte. I know that
Hmm.
Mattel, it's one of the leading ones at celebrity dolls and designer collaborations because everybody
Yeah,
collaborate with Barbie. So
yeah, they want to work with them. Exactly. Yeah.
I have a lot of Barbie designer dolls too. They're stored away, and I've never even photographed them, but I love my Barbie.
I want to get some designer Barbies. Yeah, I want to get the Dior one with the old the bar suit because I
With the
love
V
that
shape.
outfit. Yeah, and a couple of others, especially the American ones. I mean, I love the Donna Karan one. I love the Jeffrey Bean. I think they did the Jeffrey Bean one, or Bill Blass. Is it the one with the yellow and the stripes?
It's
I
Bill
think
Blass,
Bill Blass. Yeah, I want to
and
get that one too.
that's one that I've been eyeing too. And she's actually not expensive at all, but she takes
I
up a
don't
lot.
think she is. Yeah, yeah.
She takes up a lot of space, and
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, you're really inexpensive, but I don't have the room to display you, and I don't want to buy it just to have it on a box. So when I have the space, I'll pick her up. But
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's a very underrated doll, I think.
Yeah, she is, and I love the outfit. I mean, it's incredible. But what I will probably do is remove the outfits from the Barbies and put them on Integrity dolls
Copy.
to see how they work. Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. And
yeah, yeah,
technically, Poppy and the industry dolls can share with Barbie.
yeah. And maybe maybe some of these 59s as well. Some outfits, not all of them, but some they can work. Yeah, the ones that are not too tight on the chest. I think.
Oh yeah, sure. Because Barbie in the '90s was all about that. So
Yeah.
no, I definitely think that we need to. I would love to see more celebrity collaborations with Integrity,
Hmm.
but I also know that they didn't have the best experience with
They're
American.
not really good at getting the scouts right. I mean, we saw that with the American horror story dolls. I mean, they were nice, but the likeness was not perfect. Not the way Mattel does the likeness, at
Yeah,
least. Yeah.
and they were talking about how it was hard to get the collaborations made because the celebrities wanted a very specific look
Yeah,
on.
I can understand that, and especially with if you have Jessica Lange and the other ladies starring at the series. I mean, they're gonna be really picky when they see the likeness on the doll. I mean, they will be like, not this one.
That's why I don't think I would want to doll it myself because I'd want to be like, okay, use the Lucas sculpt, and they're gonna be like, or like, sir, we need it to look like you. No, but yeah, I feel like I said, I feel like every company has their own forte. I feel like Integrity
Yeah,
has
yeah,
the most amazing quality, and I feel like
definitely. I agree with that.
service,
Yeah. Hmm.
customer service is amazing, and
Yes, yes.
Mattel has celebrities. Franklin Mint does celebrities, and they have amazing quality as well.
Yeah, but they don't do those now. They are shut down,
Yeah,
so
like I
that's
haven't
over.
heard from them, so
Mm,
so
yeah,
cherish the ones that you have already.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And if you find them and you like them, go get them because you're not gonna find them easily.
Especially because a lot of them are going viral on TikTok.
Oh, are they? Oh,
Yeah, yeah. The Titanic Rose.
oh, Rose. Yeah, I have one. I have the Rose with the suit that she wore when she was boarding the Titanic,
The
the
pink one.
striped one. It is really really nice, and the likeness is not perfect, but really really nice. It's a very very beautiful doll, and I have a couple of other outfits from her as well. Some evening dresses that she wore on the film. Really really nice.
Yeah, someone posted a video of her and the trunk.
Oh yeah, that's a really hard to find because it has inside the trunk there's a small safe,
Hmm.
and it has the necklace with a blue stone on it in the safe. So that's really hard to find.
Yeah, oh, it went viral on TikTok. People were like, "Oh my god, we're gonna get one." Feeling that.
Yeah, yeah, it's not easy to get. I was lucky enough to get a few of the trunks of the Franklin trunks back then when shipping was cheaper from the US, but now I don't even want to think what it will cost to ship a trunk from the US to Greece. I mean a doll. I pay for an integrity doll around $40 to $50 to have it shipped from the US to Greece, and that's before customs.
I wanted
So
to do that. I know how it works in Spain, and I know how it works in Sweden or other places where I have friends. But
mhm.
Greece, is it? Is tax really high for Integrity Toy Dolls?
uh, it usually what they do in customs is that they add the VAT tax, value added tax, on the price of the doll plus the shipping cost. They calculate it all together and they add that on the total of that, which I don't know why. I mean, it's unfair to calculate shipping on top of the doll price, but they do that because they consider it, like the full value of the item. So they add VAT on that, and Greece has one of the highest VATs, if not the highest, in Europe. It's 24%. So you get 24% added to the price of the doll and shipping, and then you have like if you go through the Greek post office, you pay an additional 15 euros uh, for their customs officers to check the dolls, and usually that's it for normal price. For a normal price, I mean under $200. If you go beyond that, if it's something really expensive and it's declared a full price, then you have other taxes going on as well.
So for like adult 150 or like 200 total with shipping, you have to pay $88.
you have to pay like what I usually pay is like usually around for a normal integrity doll I get around oh, 40 to 50 euros plus on the value of the doll and shipping from the US. So yeah, I have luckily I have a really great dealer, and she always declares a very low value on the dolls. So I get them like either, sometimes free without any customs, and sometimes like 20 to 25 euros, which is like okay, I'm
It
okay
also
with it.
helps you box them, right?
Yeah. I have a Uriah who is helping me sometimes with that. I mean, if I have a really expensive doll and want to get it easily here, I usually mail it to Uriah, and he mails it to me from the US as a with a very low price or as a gift, so it comes cheaper.
Yeah,
It's a problem.
sacrifices
Mhm.
have to be made to
Yeah.
the
Which
dog.
it's one of the reasons that it's difficult to get expensive tools from the US to Greece. I mean, you think about having to pay all that on top of the price of the tool as well. And it's easy to get one from Europe because you don't have that, but getting it from the US, no.
Well, I've heard that even expensive in Greece, right? Like collector
Hmm?
Barbie.
Yeah, they are. I was checking the prices yesterday because I was looking to see if they brought the Lux Barbies, which I really love, the new line that they got out,
Mhm.
and I would love to get them all. And seeing the collector Barbies, I mean, it was like not all of them are really expensive, but some are. The Barbie style doll is sold in Greece from the shops around 100 euros. The
Yeah,
Barbie style, yeah, which is around $120, I think.
yeah. It's a. I'm not really sure. I'm not really familiar with the euro right now because
Hmm.
right now what we do, I do have artists in Europe that I commission, whether it's
Hmm.
for reroutes or for repaints or for whatever, or even just a trade or a purchase. What we've been doing is the gift card.
Yeah.
That's how we do our payment with Integrity Toy gift cards. That way we don't have to worry about the PayPal or the currency exchange. And
Yeah, that's
it's
good.
fine.
Hmm. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, because you always need that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it always comes handy. The the gift card.
Stratus, what are your thoughts on the delays that are going on with Integrity? I want to hear your point of view.
Well, having experienced delays in my work as well, my real life work, which is doing museums and exhibitions, and there are a lot of delays in materials, getting materials from other parts of the world. So it's to be expected. I mean, I actually was kind of surprised that they were really optimistic at the beginning of the year that they were gonna have the dolls properly released, and they were scheduling all of them at a really nice pace. And I was like, we're still under the pandemic. I mean, nothing has changed really, especially towards that part in Asia. I mean, you have outbreaks all the time, new outbreaks, and delays in shipping. I mean, I can see even from the US. I mean, when I buy a doll, in order for that doll to get to me in Greece, it used to be fast, but not anymore, not since last year. No, they some may come quickly, but the majority of things really comes late. I mean, even for a while, for the most part of last year, we couldn't get foreign magazines in Greece as well. They stopped bringing them over, and they started only like a couple of months ago bringing the magazines back. I was like, wow.
So do you feel like understanding?
I think so, yeah, because when you depend on a factory that's not in your country to make things for you, and when they speak, the Chinese are a completely different culture. They speak a completely different language. It's really difficult to work with them. I've worked with Chinese people; they're amazing. I love them, but it's not easy to work with them because the mindsets are really different. I mean, it's a different culture. They have a different way of working and thinking, and you have to be really careful when you're collaborating with them. So I know it's really hard to work with a factory there, and it's it because of the pandemic, I'm sure the problems have really doubled and tripled with them. And it's not only, making the dolls, they have to source the material as well. They have to source the fabrics for the clothes, they have to source the accessories as well. And all this is part of it. I mean, if one thing gets delayed from the total of the things that you need to make one doll, you have all that going back. And it's not easy. And having that going back, I mean, if your production goes back, the shipping goes back as well, because they don't ship products whenever they want to. I mean, it's not like, okay, you have like 10,000 dolls ready to ship and the ship is ready and waiting for me at the dock to depart. No, their shipment is part of, like thousands of containers on the ships coming from Asia to Europe and the US. So it's not easy to do that. It's not the time. It's time consuming, and you see things happen like that ship that was blocked inside the Suez Canal.
Oh yeah.
No things in Europe for like a month. No shipping.
Wow. Well, it's crazy, but I totally agree with you, and I've seen a lot of frustration
Yeah,
on.
I understand the frustration. I mean, you wait for a doll, especially for new collectors, the people that began this year, they're new members. They saw lovely dolls. They ordered them. They managed to get them through all the fuss and the brouhaha. And now they're waiting for them, and they're late. And they're like, "Oh my God, where is it?" It's not like Barbie. You get it Barbie on Amazon, and in a couple of days or the very next day, it's at your home. It's a completely different thing to do that, and they need to familiarize themselves with that process. I mean, I keep telling people that are anxious, like I pre-ordered that doll 6 months ago. Where is it? And I'm like, it takes 7 months when you pre-order it, or when they give the order to the factory. It takes them 7 months to get the final dolls uh, to the company to sell. So you have to take that into account as well. They are made to order. They're not, they don't make 10,000 dolls and just sell them over like Mattel does. I mean, it's completely different way of operating.
And I feel like Mattel probably has different factory standards.
Yeah. I mean, they I think their production is mostly based on Indonesia and Malaysia, not in
Yeah,
China anymore. Yeah, so it's
it's like
different.
totally different,
And
and which is
the
really
scale is different. The scale is different. The
definitely.
product scale is different.
I just really wish that people were more understanding, because here in America, like most, a lot of people are vaccinated and things are, opening. Things are.
Same here. Same here. I'm fully vaccinated finally, and yeah, things are opening. We have tourists coming as well for the summer, and people are starting traveling again. But yeah, it still the companies are really going slow and one bit at a time. It's really hard still because it's not the same all over the world.
Yeah, that's what people would understand out more out of anything, that maybe things in your own country are probably doing well and they're doing so much better and things are opening, people are vaccinated, but um that's not the case everywhere. A lot of people are still struggling a lot, with
Yeah,
getting food in their plates, getting the
exactly.
help they need. So I just really do wish that people were more understanding and realize that
Hmm.
people's lives are more important than a doll. uh,
Always, definitely.
yeah,
And even countries that are vaccinated, they have started opening up, are experiencing new outbreaks, like the UK right now, that they have the Delta variant, and it's really they're having a lot of new cases, whereas like a month ago they didn't, and it's like it's still not over. I mean, you have to be uh, still careful with that.
we do. And yeah, that's the one thing that I wish people would understand, that
Hmm.
a lot of these people have no access to vaccines, and it's really hard for,
Yeah,
because the
yeah,
factories are usually in countries where it's harder to have access to that. So
yes.
especially like you and I, who have like tons of dolls to like stay occupied with, those we probably haven't said hi to in a few years, I would even dare to say,
Hmm.
okay, why don't you give them some love, like instead of like obsessing with. getting a new, and I get it. I totally get it because I do like having new things too.
Yeah, everyone does. I mean, you see the new doll and you want to get it, definitely. I mean,
Uh,
yeah.
but it's hard. Like we
It
need
is. It
100%.
is.
Just
It
like
is.
be chill, be chill.
Like when you release a new collection, I mean, everybody wants to get the new outfits that you do. I mean, and they scramble about, but I mean, it's not easy always. I mean, they
I'm
go,
very blessed.
they sell out hotcakes. They disappear like in seconds.
I'm very blessed and I'm very grateful for that.
Well, you're very talented. That's why. I mean,
Thank you.
you're
Thank you so much. But yeah,
welcome.
I really do hope that things turn around for the better. And I really do miss them having convention in person. That's one thing that I miss a lot.
Yeah, I haven't experienced an integrity convention in person, but I have. I did the Italian Doll Convention when Poppy was presented in Milan back in 2018, and then next year, 2019, I did the London Fashion Doll Convention, and they were both incredible experiences because you get to meet the people that you only talk online, like you and I are doing right now,
Mhm.
and you sit with them, you talk with them, you see new dolls, you see creative people as well because they have big bazaars and they sell a lot of stuff. You see creative people selling the dolls or the clothes, and
Right.
it's incredible. It's a really, really great experience being around with all those people that are like-minded and talking about your favorite hobby and your favorite dolls. It's a really, really great experience.
I wish we can go to that. And I would love
Yeah.
to come to the American convention. You'd be like a celebrity there.
I want to do one. I hope one year I can do the integrity convention. It's one of my dreams to do it in Rio. I mean, be there.
Oh yeah.
I don't mind the city. I mean, wherever it is, I'll come.
Well, they usually have good cities. I really wish that they would bring it back to California or
Hmm. I
Georgia.
haven't been to California. The only place I've been to in the US is Chicago, uh, and that was back in 2001. So it's been really, really many years ago that I was there, and
Chi-
I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I love Chicago.
Chicago
I,
is a beautiful city, but the hotel that they did it at was not it. I have to
oh,
say, because it wasn't in Chicago. It was like near
it
the
was
airport.
it was near the airport. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it wasn't like a great hotel or whatever, but it was still a good experience. I feel like you have your good conventions and your not so great ones,
Yeah, it's always the case. I mean, it's natural. Yeah.
but for the most part, it's really cool, like you said, to see people that you probably wouldn't see on a normal basis, especially when
hmm
you're far away.
Yeah, yeah.
This is your chance, and it goes by so fast.
Yes, yes. I mean, it's only a few days and then it's over.
Yeah, so is the money.
Oh, yeah. Definitely,
But that's
definitely.
one thing I miss. So,
hmm
what can we expect for your blog? Are you gonna do any changes? Are you gonna keep rocking it like you have? Like, what are your plans?
I haven't thought about change. I thought for a while maybe I would do a podcast or something, but then I was like, I don't know if I can be good at that. I'm really good at writing, so and researching, so it's easier for me, and I think I can convey my ideas and thoughts better in writing with the combination of photos and videos on my website than doing a podcast. I mean, it's just talking about them. Podcasts are really nice for interviews, I think, but you cannot show people photographs and references
That's
in a podcast. So you miss the visual references. And in this thing in fashion, I think it's really really cool to be able to have that as well, to have the visual reference as well.
and
Yeah.
I didn't think of it that way because all the podcasts that I listen to are like we're doing right now, usually just questions and interviews. But now that you mentioned the graphics and the references, I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, like imagine having you. If I interview you for a podcast, I mean, I will not be able to show them, the people listening, the incredible clothes that you make, and they pull the references for the outfits, for the fabrics, for the styles. I mean, you cannot do that. You can talk about them, yeah, but it's not the same like having all the added visual material to go as well.
No, I totally agree. I think that's why a lot of us love your blog and why it's so successful because you really do put the visual aspect to it along with the writing, and I think
Yeah,
that's
yeah, we have to do that because it's not only the text that's going to pull people in, but you have to have the visual as well because you're dealing with fashion. I mean, at the end, I mean, it's fashion dolls. It's not simply dolls. So you have to have the visual element as well because it's the most part of fashion. I mean, it's visual. You have to show
but that's why we love her for everyone that loves her.
that.
Ah, well, Stratus, it's been a pleasure having you. Thank you so much for agreeing to this interview.
It was a pleasure doing that with you. Thank you very much. It's been an honor doing that with you.
Thank you. I love
Have a
your
lovely
blog.
time.
I love your talent. I love your accent. So
Thank you.
thank you
I,
so
lo- I
much.
love what you do. Keep doing that. You're very, really, really, really creative. I love it. Keep doing that. And I want one of those yellow plaid suits
Okay.
for my dolls. Yeah.
Fine. Thank you so much, Stratus, and I hope to hear more from you soon.
You're welcome. Thank you. Have a nice Sunday. Bye bye.
You too. Bye.